Today, on Why Do We Need to Know This? We'll learn how to add fractions with unlike denominators. We'll also learn how to subtract fractions with unlike denominators. And this knowledge can help us rollerblade, eat a giant cookie, and even take care of animals.
Why do we need to know this?
Why?
Why? Add and subtract, multiply and divide. We use math in everyday life. Why do we need to know this?
You know this.
Squeezing oranges is hard work.
Right? I didn't know my hands were so weak until today.
Hey, April and Marcos. That looks delicious.
Hey, Edicina. We picked oranges today, and now we're making orange juice.
Yeah, I made 1/2 gallon of orange juice, and Marcos made 2/5 gallon of orange juice.
We want to know how much orange juice we made all together, but we aren't sure how to add 1/2 and 2/5.
Yeah, 1/2 and 2/5 have different denominators. We've only added fractions with like denominators before.
Adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators uses math skills you already have, like finding equivalent fractions.
That would help us see how much orange juice we have. But besides that, why else do we need to know this?
I'll show you that this knowledge can help us rollerblade, eat a giant cookie, and even take care of animals. Let's explore. First, let's review what we already know about fractions.
I know that a fraction is a number that represents part of a whole.
An example of a fraction is 1/4. The top number of the fraction is called the numerator, and it tells us how many parts we have.
And the bottom number in a fraction, called the denominator, tells us how many parts are in a whole.
Right. Now, what about equivalent fractions?
Equivalent fractions represent the same part of a whole, but have different numerators and denominators. For example, 2/8 is equivalent to 1/4.
We can find equivalent fractions by multiplying the numerator and the denominator by the same number. For example, if we multiply the numerator and denominator of 1/4 by 2, we get 1 times 2 equals 2, and 4 times 2 equals 8. That's 2/8, which is equivalent to 1/4.
Good work. If you want to learn more about equivalent fractions, check out our video called Equivalent Fractions. Now, let's learn how to add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators. Let's see how adding fractions with unlike denominators can help us eat giant cookies.
These cookies were so big that we couldn't eat them all. Marcos has 1/9 of a cookie left, and I have 2/3 of a cookie left.
So how much do you have left altogether?
To find the total, we could add 1/9 plus 2/3. But the denominators aren't the same, so I'm not sure how to add them.
One way to add these fractions is to make both of them have the same denominator.
Oh, yeah. When the denominator is the same, all you do is add the numerators.
But how can we make them have the same denominator?
I know. We can find equivalent fractions and see if we can get the same denominators.
Exactly. Since 2/3 has a smaller denominator, why don't you start by finding equivalent fractions for it?
Okay. Well, if we multiply the numerator and denominator by 2, it becomes 4/6. And if we multiply the numerator and denominator by 3, we get 6/9.
That's it. Since 6/9 is equivalent to 2/3, we can use 6/9 in the problem. That makes both fractions have like denominators.
Nice job. In math, when two fractions have the same denominator, we call that common denominators. It makes adding them together simple.
I remember that when we add fractions with common denominators, we add the numerators but keep the denominator the same. That's because the number of parts in one whole does not change.
So let's add the numerators. 1 plus 6 equals 7. The denominator will stay the same, so we have 7/9 of a cookie left.
That's right. 1/9 plus 6/9 equals 7/9. Let's try another one. How about 1/3 plus 2/5?
First, we need to make common denominators. We do that by finding equivalent fractions. I'll find some for 1/3. We just multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number. So equivalent fractions for 1/3 would be 2/6, 3/9, 4/12, and 5/15. That should be enough.
And I'll do the same thing for 2/5. Its equivalent fractions would be 4/10, 6/15, 8/20, and 10/25.
We each have a fraction with 15 in the denominator on our list. So 1/3 plus 2/5 is the same as 5/15 plus 6/15.
Then we just add them together to make 11/15. So 1/3 plus 2/5 equals 11/15.
Excellent. Now I'm about to show you a more efficient way to find a common denominator. Instead of listing out all of the equivalent fractions, you can find the fractions with common denominators by multiplying the denominator of one of the fractions by the numerator and denominator of the other. Check this out. To find an equivalent fraction for 1/3, we multiply its numerator and denominator by 5. 1 times 5 is 5, and 3 times 5 is 15. So its equivalent fraction will be 5/15. Then you do the same thing to the other fraction. Multiply its numerator and denominator by 3. 2 times 3 is 6, and 5 times 3 is 15. So its equivalent fraction will be 6/15. So now that you have common denominators, just add these fractions to get 11/15.
This is gonna save me so much time.
And the best part is, this works for subtraction too. Let's test it out. You guys gonna eat that? Far from me. Let's see how subtracting fractions can help us take care of these adorable guinea pigs.
They're just so cute. This one weighs 4/5 of a pound.
And this one weighs 2/3 of a pound. I wonder how much more one weighs than the other.
To figure that out, we could solve 4/5 minus 2/3. Let's find common denominators, just like Adesina showed us.
We just need to multiply one fraction by the denominator of the other fraction.
Let's multiply both the numerator and denominator in 4/5 by 3.
Starting with 4/5, we would do 4 times 3 equals 12 in the numerator, and 5 times 3 equals 15 in the denominator. So 12/15.
Next, we find the equivalent fraction for 2/3. 2 times 5 equals 10 in the numerator, and 3 times 5 equals 15 in the denominator. So we have 10/15.
Both 12/15 and 10/15 have the same denominator of 15.
Good. Now that you have fractions with like denominators, you can subtract to see how much more one guinea pig weighs than the other.
So we subtract 12/15 minus 10/15. First, we subtract the numerators. 12 minus 10 equals 2, and the denominator stays the same. So 12/15 minus 10/15 equals 2/15.
This guinea pig weighs 2/15 of a pound more than the other one.
Great job.
I guess you're not so piggy after all.
Guinea pigs aren't really pigs, or are they?
Now let's see how learning to add mixed numbers with unlike denominators can help us rollerblade.
Ooh, yesterday, I rollerbladed 2 3/4 miles. And today, I rollerbladed 3 1/3 miles.
Well done. So how many miles did you rollerblade in total?
We can add 2 3/4 plus 3 1/3 to find out.
Right. One way to do this is by adding the whole numbers and fractions separately, then adding those values together.
That makes sense.
You can see what I'm talking about more clearly if we stack the numbers on top of each other like this.
Oh, no, I get it. Now we can add fractions in a column and the whole numbers in another column.
Exactly.
Since these fractions don't have the same denominator, let's start by finding common denominators.
Let's multiply the numerator and denominator in 3/4 by 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and 4 times 3 is 12.
Next, let's multiply the numerator and denominator in 1/3 by 4. 1 times 4 is 4, and 3 times 4 is 12.
Now both fractions have common denominators.
Excellent. Go ahead and add the fractions.
9 twelfths plus 4 twelfths equals 13 twelfths.
Then I'll add the whole numbers. 2 plus 3 is 5.
So the answer is 5 and 13 twelfths.
Correct. But since the answer has a fraction greater than 1, we can simplify it further.
I know that 13 twelfths is the same as 12 twelfths plus 1 twelfth. And 12 twelfths is the same as 1. So this answer can be rewritten as 6 and 1 12th.
Wow, I rollerbladed 6 and 1/12 miles? No wonder I'm so sore. I can barely move. A little help?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Come on.
Let's see how subtracting mixed numbers with unlike denominators can help us compete in sports.
April and I are on the track team, and we compete in the long jump event.
At our last track meet, Marcos jumped 5 and 1/6 feet, and I jumped 4 and 2/3 feet. How much farther did Marcos jump?
To figure that out, we can solve 5 and 1/6 minus 4 and 2/3.
Let's start by stacking the numbers just like we did before. Now we can subtract one column at a time.
First, let's subtract the fraction part.
Which means we need to find common denominators.
Let's multiply the numerator and denominator in 1/6 by 3. 1 times 3 is 3, and 6 times 3 is 18.
Next, let's multiply the numerator and denominator in 2/3 by 6. 2 times 6 is 12, and 3 times 6 is 18.
Now, let's subtract.
I can't take away 12 eighteenths from 3 eighteenths.
I have an idea. Let's regroup 1 from the whole number 5. 1 is the same as 18 eighteenths, meaning now we have 21 eighteenths.
Neat. Now we can subtract. 21 eighteenths minus 12 eighteenths is 9 eighteenths.
Correct. And now subtract the whole numbers.
4 minus 4 is 0, so the answer is just 9 eighteenths, which we can simplify even further to 1/2.
We know this is a reasonable answer because if we only subtract the whole numbers, 5 minus 4, we get 1. And the answer should be around that number.
Thanks, April and Marcos. And now let's review.
Today, we learned how to add fractions with unlike denominators.
We also learned how to subtract fractions with unlike denominators.
And that this knowledge can help us rollerblade, eat a giant cookie, and even take care of animals.
And now you know why you need to know this. I'm Adesina.
I'm April.
I'm Marcos.
And until next time, remember,
Always question, always wonder.